Which Pokemon game is the best? I mean, seriously, no one seems to be able to work it out. How can a game have a 72% reviewer score and a 3.2% user score? Who do I believe? The guy who makes a living off getting early review copies of games? Or the user called Pokemon Hater 1? I think we need a new metric for judging games, and I think it should be cars. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are fantastic cars because they're a buy one get one free deal. These are the games that are frequently ranked in the #1 spot, and there's certainly good reason for that. Pog starters, great rival, beautiful graphics, and the post game actually is translated to game squared. But I'll be honest with you, I've got beef. They give you 2 cars because one of them got a hole in the gas tank. Johto's XP shortage means that many times throughout your journey, it requires you to hold all progress and sit in a patch of grass and extract oil like you're America in 2003. Another thing that sucks, Whirl Island. I would rather be forced to watch male thirst traps on TikTok until the day I die than try and navigate the Whirl Island for even 10 minutes. Between tentacles and these 10-kilometer slow zones, I actually want to watch shirtless men. And let's not talk about Lance Targaryen, the first of his name, with his 4 Puff the Magic Dragons and a fish. The thing people don't talk about enough with these games are the roofs. They're so colourful and every town feels like it has its own little identity because of their exclusive roof design. Walking into a new town is like opening a gift on your birthday, except the gift is roofs. Can we talk about Whitney's milk tank though? Fuck this cow. This thing got titty milk for days. Every time you do a bit of damage to it. Also, it's not called milk tank for nothing. This thing stomps like it's got armor-piercing rounds shooting out its toes. But apparently they're still sexy because my Pokemon keep trying to tier 3 sub to this thing while a ballistic missile stomps on their balls.
In conclusion, these games have lots of good content, but the experience shortage weighs them down. On to the next game, I guess, Hal?
Oh, hello there, peasant. Black and White's like a limo. It's beautiful, it's unique, but it can only drive main roads or roads with a wide enough circumference for turning, or otherwise... The biggest complaint with Unova is that it's kind of designed like a NASCAR track. The lack of big detours and HM-locked areas makes it feel much more simplistic, making it kind of feel like someone else is in the driver's seat, compared to better regions that look like a subway system. But you are the footlong. A NASCAR track does create a constant forward momentum, but what's a life worth living if you never stop to smell the scraggy? Just ask Dale Earnhardt Sr. I also choose the limo because playing Black and White makes you feel sophisticated and better than other people. For the first and only time in the franchise, it attempts to tell a story that's actually worth listening to. Pokemon is fun and cute until you sit and think about it for like a second and realize, this is the UFC for dogs. I got given an endangered species of otter that I'm going to use to climb the social ladder of organized animal warfare to become the most rich and famous animal abusing pimp. What a great message. For the kids. So Team Plasma's ambition to liberate Pokemon might be something you relate to since you hopefully think hurting animals is like wrong or something. And if not, I'm gonna need you to step out the vehicle. If you have a body in the trunk, I will be scarred for life. One thing about the limo lifestyle is that after being escorted around drinking luxury champagne, your Prius looks like a bag of shit. At this point, they really gotta shake it up if I'm gonna care about a Pokemon story. I can't watch another comically evil group try and take over the world using the power of a legendary or even anything remotely close. Can't a Mimikyu just hold up a Best Buy or something? Or a Licky Tongue who keeps licking kids? That's a guy I want to stop. Lastly, Black and White is a limo because it's unique. Having only new Pokemon was the big talking point of this game, and it created a divide that some people loved, but also drove away some people who just wanted to play a normal Pokemon game, making it very polarizing, like my next opinion. Fuck these starters! This is fine. This is great. You ruined everything. Get that away from me. You ruined it. You ruined everything. UFC for dogs. Okay, okay, it's a little better, but it's also a little worse. It fixes the whole NASCAR thing by building a bridge into the racetrack and adding a desert with the haunted house into the pit stops. There's a pirate ship full of ninjas throwing ice bombs, and then you gotta take the race onto the streets Toretto style. The bad part of the game though is that every strength of the previous game was instantly forgotten in favor of a typical Pokemon plot and boring characters. Who is Hugh? Hugh, you? Hugh, me? This game is a snowplow because you have to plow through so much crap to play a pretty good game.
Wait, I know you. The next game is Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield is the kind of game that will look at the blueprints of a car and go, what if it looked like this? Just because you make Pokemon big doesn't mean you should. Because the irony of adding 2 wheels to the front means that you run out of money in time for the back. You gotta cut costs. That means 1 wheel at the back. In focusing on these new things, the Galar region has towns full of locked doors, and as a region, lacks any interesting places. Making Sword and Shield more like if this car had a head-on collision with the semi-truck, and then we still bought the wrecked car. The crushed up mangled door is the Gary's Mod Look at Wild area. The scratched up paint job are the trees imported from Ocarina of Time. And my hopes and dreams of a good Pokemon game for the Switch is the Family of 4 sticker that is now covered in Little Timmy's brains. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of competition between the best one. They've all got goods and bads and pros and cons. Except this one. This one's arse. It's bad. It's just bad. Keep your voices down, but remember that whole you wouldn't steal a car thing? Well, in fact, yes, I would. And it's way better, actually. The dawn of time, or more specifically, before the physical and special split. A little known fact, Hoenn is actually one of the best designed regions. Another little known fact, I just lied to you. Yeah, it's cool you did the whole 50-50 land and water thing to reflect Kyogre and Growl, but I can't afford half a game's worth of max repels for all these bulbous, soon-to-be calamari rings that keep thinking I'm a lid to a plastic bottle they want to fuck. Now, don't get me wrong, Gen 3 is pretty pog. Rayquaza, fuck sweet. Rayquaza might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But it feels primitive. I feel like a caveman playing this. And somehow, the 3D remakes look more pixelated than literal pixel art. And that's why these games are the boat cars from SpongeBob. Because they feel nostalgic, they feel retro, and you may as well be at Bikini Bottom with how much goddamn water is in these games. Sun and Moon is a 2016 electric model car, non-brand specific because no free advertising. With Sun and Moon, the destination is the same, but this engine runs on totem fights. I like how totem Pokemon actually gang up on you and use tactics to beat you, which actually creates a bit more of a challenge and a bit more of a unique challenge of what gym leaders do. Sun and Moon also has the highest RPM, or rad cool Pokemon per minute. Geodude, Mimikyu, Toxapex, Salazzle, but holy crap, I can't stand playing these games. Like an electric car, this crap needs 10 hours to charge before you can even do anything. 4-hour tutorial, then every 15 steps someone stops to give you the stupid Mormon exposition about the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, more like holy fuck. My other complaint is that it doesn't feel very cohesive. Like you have the tropical Honolulu Islands and then the multi-dimensional time travel aliens Pokezords pipe on the screen. Both of these things are cool, but together they lack a tonal consistency. I get that the Ultra Beasts are meant to reflect the invasive species that invaded Hawaii, but it just doesn't have the same kick that maybe a more environmental feel might have. A more environmental story theming might have had. Sinnoh's weird. Sinnoh's like an SUV with mysterious symbols carved onto it and tinted windows. Sinnoh is notoriously slow. Oh sweet, yeah, you know what would bang right now? Some knee-deep mud that I keep getting stuck stuck in. Oh, hell yeah, dude. You know what else would bang right now? Giant poop cave. You know one more thing that would bang right now? Plowing through a snowstorm for an hour where you can't see dick, and there's a bunch of little solid snakes on a mission to steal the Metal Gear. But this variety is what makes Sinnoh so intoxicating. Sinnoh changes gears a lot. The pacing sets to 5th gear for big explosive moments, then bottoms out to 2nd gear again before building speed all over again. But oh yeah, the new games are so good, you just got nostalgia for the old ones. Now we have to talk about that long-legged blonde bimbo, Barry. I don't like this guy for 2 reasons. 1, he's annoying, hyperactive, he never shuts the fuck up, and he's always giving his opinion when nobody asked. And 2, because he's me. Like an SUV, Gen 4 has a lot of mileage with a fantastic post-game, a lot of room in the back to store your mining gear, and a great rear view mirror for parking because it finishes amazingly, just like your mother. What's up, Sigma Vice back at it again. Sigmas can get any girl they want because women are so attracted to our natural leadership and money. Oh, why don't Sigmas have a girlfriend then? Oh, well, because girls are so attracted to our natural Sigma energy that we're kind of scared to talk to them. Let me pass it over to my co-host. Alpha male this, pussies. I've been on with Bruce, I don't give a fuck.
This is fucking stupid. What else is there? Oh yeah, that'll do.
Pokemon X and Y is a Pugot because it's French. I don't have much to say about this one because it's very forgettable, like the time a global ring of nearly every rich and famous person was exposed for diddling kids on a mysterious island satanically, and then nothing happened. Also the legendaries are letters, which I am not sexually attracted to. Feel that. Pokemon Legends Arceus is a 4-wheel drive because it wows you with the idea that you can go anywhere, do anything, beat anyone. When in reality, you'll go camping once and then drive it back and forth to work. The open world is frustratingly shallow and offers up a very repetitive and limited experience. Much like driving on a dirt road. It pretends to be different, but it's really not. Sometimes it puts the throttle down and it does something cool, but it's made by the same company that made Sword and Shield, so it just loves mediocrity like a pig loves mud. Scarlet and Violet, the newest games. They're probably the most needing of this system. Some people think they're the best things ever made. Other people think it's unplayable. So let's look at the objective facts. When it pulls up, kids and simpletons go crazy for it. It keeps pulling gimmicks out of its sleeve, and if you say anything negative about it, you get John Wayne Gacy'd by 30-year-olds who think it's in any way normal to have a room full of plushies. Kinda sounds like a clown car. If you didn't watch my Legends Arceus video, I've kinda gone through a bit of growth. I don't really care about this franchise anymore, and I'm more than willing to play with shit. I sound a little bit kinky now. But I still don't like terrestrializing. It's just so ugly and it's so ridiculously gimmicky that it puts every other gimmick to shame with how awful it is. But more importantly, this is the start of the loving partner to Crystal Witch pipeline. They start out just admiring the crystal hats, and then they start looking up crystals on eBay and then learning about energy fields on TikTok, and then all of a sudden you forget to do the dishes one time because you accidentally forgot, and then they use amethyst to give you the small penis curse. They could have at least made it look good. Ugh. Pokemon has now become Genshin Zelda, which I guess was inevitable, but like your 50-year-old divorced father who just bought a Harley, I think we're having a midlife crisis. Pokemon is now in the transition phase to becoming the typical open world franchise, but at the same time, struggling to not make the Pokemon aspect not suck. It wants to be a game about fighting monsters, but with exploration and freedom of choice and non-linear progression and picnics and crafting, and it's just all so immersive. But then a wild Pokemon can't even do what a Minecraft sheep could from 10 years ago. A Minecraft sheep can eat grass, run around, have children. Pokemon barely even run around. Also, I hope you like Silence, because one of the clowns sold the radio to pay his child support. The old games had text boxes which you could button mash away to skip, but recently every text box is attached to an awkward, unskippable animation. Get up, text box. Walk, text box. Point, text box. And it's not even like these are good animations. They suck! Look at how much that tells you. Just another look. Oh, beautiful. What the fuck is that? When people talk about these games, they don't say, oh, I just love the dialogue. The dialogue and animations are so good. No, they say, despite the game's problems, the Pokemon formula is still a good one. Let me just mindlessly spam through every animation and piece of shallow, uninteresting, third-grade writing for the love of Arceus. Despite all its problems, it's still a car, and it's a car with new features, so if all you care about is if it drives from point A to point B, you'll probably still like it. But I'd rather escape my problems in a Jaguar than with some clown who keeps telling me to honk his horn.
The Ben's Pattern Motor Car, see, was the original, like Pokemon Red and Blue. It's old, see, and it breaks easily, and there's a newer version which is more colourful and actually has a radio that works.
Red and Blue is incredible in its simplicity. Everyone has had a blue in their life.
A spoiled, pompous brat who's just good at everything, you see.
So the primal urge to crush his dreams and steal the love of his grandfather comes pretty naturally to most players. Screw you, Paul. I will wear your skin one day.
But like a Ben's Pattern Motor Car, see, Red and Blue is fun until you realise the 30 years of progression and development that have made games, well, see, not this.
We're at the point now where there's a remake of the remake, and yet we still kinda need another one. Which just goes to show you that we probably just need a new hobby. Anyone want to try badminton with me? I'm going on the weekend. So, like 2-for-1 special? No? Okay. Picking the best Pokemon game is a hard one, because like cars, each one fulfills a different purpose. I personally love Gen 5, and after playing it so many times, I still love it. But you can't drive a limo up a hill. It gets stuck and it seesaws. Man, you know what? The clown car can drive up hills. And it even has googly eyes on the front. Because a car is used to take you somewhere, and the destination is what designs different types of cars. A truck delivers things so it's bigger. You put off-road tires on the car that's driving on gravel roads. And cars for the city are smaller, because parking bays are smaller. Pokemon is the same. Each game takes you to a different place emotionally, whether it's nostalgia, profound meaning, or light fun. Which Pokemon game is objectively the best depends on where you want to go. It's getting kind of hot in here. While I've ragged on a lot of these games, there's still value in all of them. I'm getting really hot in here. Man, I just feel so warm inside.
It's me, you negative prick! I have never heard someone so ungrateful in my 1,000 years of living! All you do is bitch and moan and complain!
Okay, but why are you taking my pants down?
Ask the priests! That's how we give you the Holy Spirit! Now, take this positivity and right your wrongs in the name of God!
I've sinned many a time in my days, you know. I haven't lived in the Lord's light as much as I should have, you know. My biggest sin of all was not appreciating what I have, what we've all had. And I've been judgmental when I shouldn't have been. Because how does the Lord gift us with these strengths? The games! The games, I tell you! Who needs graphics? Who needs frames? When you can make a subway. When you can make a godforsaken subway! I bathe in his holy, weird fucking designs. I don't know what this thing is. No even! Give me strength! The burnished representation is always a good thing! It even has representation for autistic people! You love to see it! Oh, you love to see it! Before I leave you tonight, I need to send you away with the Bible hymn from the Lord and Savior. Fuck this shit, I like the money. You love that. Hold my hand. Hold him. Let us say a prayer. In Junichi's light and banging music we trust. Junichi, you've always got a seat at my table. That's powerful. The donation bolt's gone around. Head to patreon.com/CassidyArm and donate to our beautiful church here. Praise the light. Praise the light thing. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time.